What was your favorite nursery rhyme as a kid? I guarantee you it's not this one.
If you're immediately reprimanding instead of listening and understanding, if you're offended by people's lived experiences, you're the problem. Oh! Oh!
Can you say condescending?
If you're immediately reprimanding
Can you say arrogance?
instead of listening and understanding,
Can you say superiority complex?
if you're offended by people's lived experiences, you're the problem.
Why do these people act like this?
Oh!
I'm going to show you a few reasons why people act like this. Then I'm going to show you exactly what to do psychologically and what to say if you ever run into someone who talks to you like this. And guess what? You will immediately take back control of the conversation. So let's get started. So this girl has obviously reworked an old nursery rhyme, and she's changed all the words to be as insulting and condescending as possible. Quick little psychology tip here. Anyone who uses what's called a sing-song delivery, it means that they are amplifying their own superiority. Notice how she's lecturing people throughout this little video that she put on TikTok. So this little example of arrogance and belittlement wrapped in the playful melody of a childhood nursery rhyme, this is not a diagnosis, but these are very, very clear traits that are also associated with narcissistic personality disorder, or NPD. Remember that Gen Z young women are encouraged and they are empowered to break away from any type of social traditional hierarchies. Now, empowerment can be really helpful, but in times like this, it can manifest itself in an inflated sense of superiority. Young women like this, they see themselves as revolutionary, and they want to correct what they see are errors of previous generations. Psychological research points to several different reasons for this type of a pattern. Number one, social media echo chambers. Constant exposure and constant encouragement, it reinforces acting very dismissive to other people's viewpoints when they don't agree with you. Number two, validation-seeking behavior. Also, attention-seeking behavior. Gen Z has been raised in an environment where they need external validation. Through digital platforms, they get it constantly. The problem is it happens so often that it leads to a sense of grandiosity and entitlement. And number three, it's identity assertion. Young women are encouraged to assert their identities and, of course, their opinions. Here's the problem, that it leads to them feeling as though they have become moral authorities. This is why they tend to speak like this and try to school adults, especially in social issues. And let's not forget the generational shift in values. So as a result, we see patterns of arrogance and condescension. So how do we combat this? If you ever run into this and you get someone who speaks to you like this, how do you take back control immediately? I'm going to give you 4 very quick examples that are pulled from what's called dark psychology, but simply means how to dominate and turn the tables on someone who is attacking you. If you use these techniques, you will take back control of the situation like that. Number one, you want to use what's called intense psychological mirroring. First things first, you have to be stoic and cold. Never raise your voice, never increase your cadence, keep your words slow and methodical. And what do? Without any emotion on your face, you coldly mirror some of the things that were just said to you. This will immediately expose petty emotional weakness. They won't know what to do with it. They're expecting you to go, what? And to come back with something like that. But if you're stoic and if you're methodical, they won't know what to do with this. Number two, you can use what's called a ruthless intellectual shutdown. This is where you immediately come back again coldly, stoically, with what's called an overpowering, dismissive retort. But remember, they have to be factual, not emotional. You need to live in the world of logic, not emotion. Likely, they're coming from a world of emotion, not logic. This is how you disarm somebody. How do you do this? You simply pause. When they're speaking to you, they're going to expect you to immediately jump into the fray. Don't let that happen. You pause. You look them directly in the eyes. Do this for about 3 to 4 seconds before you say anything, and then you speak slowly. You just say something very simple on the way back, but it has to be factual. Let them know that you're not going to validate anything that they say, and keep eye contact. Number 3, you use what's called calculated social isolation. This is, again, slowly and methodically calling out their behavior, but you do it in a way that encourages other people that are around to distance themselves. Remember, when you speak back, don't use emotion, don't use simplistic language. Slowly and with eye contact and with pauses between what they say and what you say. This will cause people around this person to back off and to disengage because it's uncomfortable. This will leverage what is called social dynamics, and this means that the person doing the insulting or doing the lecturing will feel the weight of other people not seeing you validate what they're saying. This will cause a psychological pause, and they will want to back up. And number 4, you must always use what is called unyielding stoic dominance. Again, with this one, you are letting silence linger with your words, pausing, never removing eye contact. Because cold, unwavering tone means that you are completely out of reach emotionally. And guess what? Subliminally, even someone this intellectually shallow will pick it up subconsciously. This will immediately make them feel insignificant, and with that insignificance, immediately establishes your dominance. These approaches leverage what are called dominance and psychological pressure. This will make the person speaking down to you regret their attempt to even speak with you, and it takes everyone that's around them that's likely this person's social circle, and it makes them very uncomfortable, because what will happen is none of the emotional things that are said will take any root or any hold on you, and they will notice that. It will make that person look weak and ineffective. It will make you look strong and in control. That person won't want to speak to you anymore, and neither will the social circle around that person. So as always, I ask you, have you ever run into anyone like this? How did you respond when they said these things to you? Put it in the comment section.